Idag is the seventh full-length album from Swedish, let's call them a heavy rock slash traditional doom metal band, heavy psychedelic rock band in general. And they've been kind of through an interesting period of time here beyond their 2016 record and the long hiatus that followed it, the release of black metal, an acoustic record in 2020, and then again the long wait for this kind of comeback record. I think it'd be fair to consider the history of this band relevant to kind of the uprising of occult rock in some level, the revival of traditional doom metal in some respect. Definitely people in Sweden were paying attention at the time. They were on Rise Above. And the fandom of Pentagram in the early 2000s it was really big for its time. And this was a band that was maybe a bit notable and influential at the time in Scandinavia especially. I've always liked this group a lot. I didn't think they were necessarily perfect along the way. I really didn't like Legend. The first two records were solid, but kind of a known quantity. Nucleus was something a bit more original, but I don't know how much people liked it. For me, it was one of my favorite of the year back in 2016 at number 13. So I've been a fan for a long time, but I wouldn't say that prepared for anything to be all that interesting coming from this group in 2025 after about, almost 10 years of not really getting anything. And not to discount black metal, it just wasn't really my kind of thing that I would want to sit with more than once. And that's just my own taste. Instead of introducing exactly what this record is right off the bat, let's listen to a clip of one song that I particularly like and kind of go from there. So much like Cathedral, Witchcraft are many more things than you can sum up in just kind of one subgenre. There's this 70s proto-metal idea, there's heavy psychedelic rock ideas, there's folk influence, progressive rock in general. And when they pick the tones, the guitar tones, the timbre of Magnus Palander's voice, he really styles it in a way that is very specific to his own taste and his own original sound. There are bands that sound a bit like this, but he does it in a way that is very much his own. And you'll notice the tones for everything from the keyboards to the guitars to just the recordings, they have that warmed analog sound, and there are very subtle references to both the past and some new things he's brought into it. So if you've come in expecting Legend or even Nucleus, you get a bit of that. If you've come in expecting a return to his original sound in the 2000s, there's also some of that in there. You're getting a bit of everything that he's worked on in the past and bringing it into a cohesive and pretty coherent album that is eclectic and very well written. I think it's a pleasure to sit down and listen to this record as a fan of traditional doom metal and all of these other things that he brings into it. There's a lot of flavor to it. There's a lot of style in there, and his voice is maybe almost underused in the amount of kind of shaking vibrato that he uses. There's a bluesy side to his voice that he doesn't bring out quite as much as in the past. We still get the soul of the artist in this record, and for me it's a believable performance that goes a lot of different places. It's a really finely made album. It was very much unexpected on my part. At best I was expecting something similar to Nucleus with a bit of the black metal acoustic side of it. He's reined in that so that it's part of what this is, but it's not just a 50-50 split. So if you're interested in a cumulative idea of Witchcraft coming together into a signature, this is probably the best album to do that to date, which takes into account the various successes of his sound along the way. And for me, it just made for a great record, a great rock record. There's some weird parts on here, but it all kind of characterizes the album in an interesting way. And again, I'm there for the personality of the artist and their songcraft, and I think he's focused so much on that it made for something that I couldn't stop listening to. It's a high recommendation for me, verging on a very high recommendation. I think that it will have to grow on me over time because I'm not sure what to think about every track on here, but the overall effect is very strong. It is one of my favorite records from the band to date. And I'll have to sit with it more to really soak up more of those details in the lyrics and what easily one of the best releases of May this year, and a record I'm going to continue to listen to throughout the year. It released on May 23rd. You can check it out now and go ahead and read my review for more of my thoughts in depth on the full.